Form of Voltron.
Form of bucket of water.
Yeah.
The saddest superpower ever.
One could be an animal, and one had to be an inanimate object. Absolutely.
Yeah, any form of water. Ice cubes! Yay!
Steam.
Steam. Okay, maybe steam. You could burn somebody. That might be the only thing you can get away with.
Scalding water. That's where I'm going. Scalding water.
That's it.
Acid rain.
Ooh.
Hey!
Your powers combined. All right, so...
At least he wasn't hard. At least he wasn't hard.
He wasn't hard.
All
right, so...
There's uselessness for you.
All right, I got show notes on one window. I got stuff in the other window. And why do I have Twitter up? I don't know. I did tweet about 10, 15 minutes ago now.
Yeah, I will retweet and stuff.
All right.
Tweet.
Chirp.
No, that's
wow,
next.
Darkmoon Herald's on a freaking roll. 3 episodes in 3 weeks. It's amazing.
What is it?
Darkmoon Herald's released 3 episodes in 3 weeks. It's pretty freaking amazing.
I don't even know who Darkmoon Herald is. Is that bad?
Whoa, you don't know what the Darkmoon Herald is?
No.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's a pretty big WoW podcast there.
Wow.
Not big enough for Akuzad, though.
I have to admit, other than Azoth Roundtable and Flex Mode, and of course Realm Maintenance. I haven't heard the last Realm Maintenance. I'm probably 2 behind now. Time, where are you?
Not with you.
Not with me. Okay, so that was our pre-show ramble. Thanks to those of you who tune in for the live video pre-show. That was just for you. All right, so let's get on with the actual show for the dweebs who are just going to listen to the audio recording afterwards and make sure to remind me to edit that part out so they don't email me at alakaz@gmail.com.
No, that would be accurate. You know what? You can send them my way. I've got a really good filter on my email. Okay.
All right. I'm going to start the show, if I can find my opening theme, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Battle commencing in 10 seconds.
The spirits guide your hand.
This hero's getting on my nerves.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Prepare for combat.
Greetings, heroes. Welcome to Prepare for Combat, episode number 24 for September 10th, 2014. I put September turd in there. I'm not sure how I did that, but I did. This is Akuzad. Okay, I'm going to clean my show notes real quick before I continue on, because, all right, there we go. Joining me is the man who is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Alakaz.
You know what, Zod? I really don't know how to start this intro, because as I told you, all my voices are here and present. So, yeah, they're all fighting to start this off. So, I'm just going to say hi.
Yeah, Alakaz is literally a 5-headed dragon. And those of you who get the reference, I love you. Okay, also, finally, it's our own ancient Chinese secret, Brian Black, also known as Ro.
Yes, I am the reason why your laundry is lemony fresh.
The things Ro does for you and your laundry. Ro will do your laundry. You just have to mail it to him, along with like a $100 bill.
No, I was also going to ask you: Is there self return, or do they have this return shipping included in that for you, Ro?
It comes with you have to send in a prepaid envelope, or prepaid box for the laundry to be returned, and yeah.
Okay. So do you do like dirty undies or just lingerie, or you probably don't want to get into that.
So Akuzad, how was your week? How have you been the past few weeks? You've been gone for a while.
Oh yeah, I was. I was at Dragon Con 2014 this past, 2 weeks ago. I've kind of forgotten how long it's been since we did the last show. Actually, before getting to Dragon Con, let me just make the announcement for those who may have been waiting patiently. Due to the relative ups and downs of news that goes along with Heroes of the Storm, we've decided to move to an every other week schedule. So now we will be putting out the podcast every other week. That's kind of the definition of every other week. So
the truth is, there were contract negotiations, and I told them I wasn't getting paid enough to do this stuff, so they cut back the number of episodes.
Yeah. And for those who speak the King's English, we would be going every fortnight, just so you guys...
Yes, every fortnight.
Yes, I did have to double Rose payment in order to do the show, so it was...
Right, and in order to meet the budget, that meant cutting the episodes in half, so it's all good.
He even had to cut my salary. I mean, come on.
Alec has to pay, actually. That's he kicks in a penny every now and then. So, although I will throw out there, if reasons arise mid-session or mid-period, whatever the phrase is there, we will definitely bring you into the latest and greatest news as it happens. As it so happens, today was patch day, and we're going to get into that. And so we would have done a show anyway, just because this is a big day for Heroes of the Storm. But now, let me roll back to DragonCon. I spent the entire DragonCon 3 solid days, kind of like half day, 2 days, half day, in the podcasting track room with some amazing, wonderful podcasters. I mean, there were people there who were podcasting before it was even called podcasting. Back then, it was just called putting the MP3 file up on the server. That was the official name of what they were doing. So... it's just amazing seeing those people who've been doing it, talking about people doing it for 10 years, 12 years. I'm like, did we even have the internet back then? I guess we did, but yeah. So,
it sounded a little something like...
Exactly. There were people doing it back in the days of dial-up. That's how awesome they were. I had a really...
Go ahead.
No, I'd say so. I had a really good time, very instructive, very informative. I got to hang out, of course, with Brian Dunaway and Nicole Spagnolia and Kim Price and God, who else was there? It was an amazing, wonderful group of people that blew my mind. Oh, Tom Merritt and Veronica Belmont, absolutely. I got to talk to Tom for like 5 minutes. I was so excited, I almost peed. It might have helped that we were trapped in a crush of people trying to get from one room to the other, and he really had nothing else to do, and I guess he didn't want to just ignore me, so good on Tom.
Wow.
Also, spent a lot of time with...
Now when Tom sees you, he's going to be like, do you have your adult diapers on, son?
Definitely. Now, that man is him and Veronica are some of the hardest working people at DragonCon. I mean, they went from panel to panel to panel. I don't know if they actually got to see anything there. But all the panels they were on were an absolute blast. And I will throw out there, if you go to YouTube and you do a search for DragonCon podcasting, I streamed live and recorded live all the videos of all the sessions, and some of them are absolutely amazing. The 5 Truths and a Lie is hilarious. Not safe for work, but hilarious. You got to watch that one. So anyway, that's what I've done recently since our last show. So, Alakaz, we'll throw the ball over to you. What have you been up to?
Pure and utter craziness. I will just say I work in the cell phone industry, and there's been a few things that have gone on that have happened in the cellular industry.
What could that be?
We're not going to talk about it. And in fact, my phone is now talking to me.
I thought you were now in the watch business.
We're in a lot of businesses. I ask you to stay and mind your own business there, sir.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's been crazy for us. And then I've been playing a ton of WoW. I will fully admit I've not been playing a ton of Heroes of the Storm. Just buying Warlords of Draenor and getting another character up to 90 and going after another cloak. So I have 2 tunes with the legendary cloak on it, and I'm going after a third one.
I haven't even gotten one yet.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I've got 8 runestones collected. I should get my cloak this week.
Okay, but I mean, so that's really been taking a lot of my time. And then for those of you who have listened, you've heard me talk about it before. The wife is pregnant. So
I didn't do it.
No, it was me. It was me this time.
Okay, making sure. Okay, good.
We've been moving the house around to get ready, get a nursery up and running, all those fun things. So.
Yeah, so your game time is going to come to a complete end soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, sir. Feel the love. Feel the love.
It wasn't me.
Here.
It was your fault. You claimed it. You even claimed it. It's your fault. So, Ro, what have you been up to since our last broadcast?
A little bit of Heroes here and there. I finally hit level 30, which is great, amazing. I mean, I'm so glad because, of course, level 30 is a very important level to hit in Heroes.
Why would that be?
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
and why I'm being terribly sarcastic. But
sarcasm, got it.
Yes.
Sorry, I missed it.
I'm never sarcastic
do it again.
on my
There
podcast. Ever, ever, ever. Never
sarcasm. That's original.
Yeah. It is. But yeah, hit level 30 in Heroes. Aside from that, playing a little bit of this Blizzard game and that Blizzard game, and not really having time for much else between all the Blizzard games, and still working on World of Podcast, getting it together. Like today, I just sent out emails to all the people that are going to be on the panels and saying, hey, this is who you're going to be teamed up with, and this is stuff I want you to come up with questions and topics to talk about, blah, blah, blah. So that's all exciting, and we hit our 5th stretch goal on the Kickstarter. There's only 10 days left of that. So we're hoping to hit it. We would love to hit 3,000 by the end of the campaign, which is about 10 days away from now. If you're interested, just go to Kickstarter, put in World of Podcasts. You'll see what we're doing there. And yeah, exciting times. Things are picking up there, and that's pretty much it.
The last time we talked, I believe you still had a sponsor that was yet to be named.
Jinx is now officially a sponsor. Yes,
that's awesome.
Yeah, they are actually going to have a lot of swag being given away at World of Podcasts. At least we're talking like 40 T-shirts and then some.
Nice.
So, quite a bit of support from them, and we couldn't be happier. They supported the event last year, and they're doing that like 3 times over this year with what they're doing.
And the cost of admission is still the same as last year?
The cost of admission is triple what it was last year.
Ooh.
In order to make up for all the extra laser light shows and, the 10 bartenders we're going to have in every room. And no. But yeah, admission's still free. Again, the event starts... it's on the Thursday evening before BlizzCon happens. There will be people from mainly World of Warcraft podcasts, but there will be Heroes of the Storm represented there as well, podcasts as well. And we're going to be located right very close to where Blizzard's doing its charity dinner, so there's a very strong likelihood that Blizzard employees going to and from that thing could wander by World of Podcasts and check out stuff there. So who knows what will happen.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a bar set up, right? So.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 bartenders.
2 bartenders. There we go.
2 bartenders. We're going to have 2 bartenders, a photo booth where you can have your picture taken against a green screen. So maybe they'll have it set up where you can have your picture taken with like a podcaster, or stuff where it looks like you're both in the Nexus or something. I don't know all the details about that just yet, but we're working on it.
I take it you'll be posing for photos as well? People can actually get a photo taken with you?
It's weird, right? Because, I mean, when I do this podcasting stuff, I really try to emphasize I'm just another geek who plays video games like anyone else is. But there are people who are probably going to ask, and yeah, sure, I'll do it.
But you're the Roe.
Roe from Well Maintenance. He's famous.
Yeah, that's still kind of weird.
Can I rub your head for good luck when I'm there? That'd be allowed.
You wouldn't be the first.
That's where your pickup line in the bar.
I had 4 people rub my head at last year's BlizzCon. Enough said.
That's hilarious.
All right, so we're moving on to the
Okay. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get into this week's news.
Oh, good. The main attraction is about to begin.
Okay, as I said a minute ago, this week, today, actually right now, this second, they are patching the game. I forgot the update number. It is something with beta or alpha in the front of it. But there is a ton to talk about. So I think we just run down the patch notes and kind of throw out the different highlights and our thoughts on them. I'll go ahead and start. The first one, of course, is they have released a 64-bit client for Heroes of the Storm. Now, I can't imagine anyone who plays video games who doesn't have a 64-bit rig, and I didn't even realize that the client was 32-bit. But hey, that's awesome. Glad to hear it. I'm hoping that, I've never had any problems with the game. As pretty as it is, I've never noticed lag, and I think I play the highest settings. So I'm all for it going 64-bit. I don't know if I expect to see any difference.
Yeah,
I will also say, Zod, I pulled it up. The game is running. So
it is up?
It is up and running.
Ooh, I say, I know Ro can't make it, but maybe we should do a live stream of Al and I getting our butts kicked after this.
No, and I wanted to let you know that is up. It is back up and running at this point. Just logged in.
All right, so people aren't listening to us anymore. Now they're logging in playing the game. Thanks. No, it's still down. It'll be down for another 20 minutes or so. No.
Nice
well,
call.
I was just going to say, if I'm not mistaken, when StarCraft 2 came out, it was a 32-bit client, and as it's been said before, Heroes of the Storm was kind of developed with the same software that was made for StarCraft 2. So I think that's why it was a 32-bit client from the beginning.
No, makes sense. All right, who wants to take the next one?
Go for it.
I'm highlighting it like you guys can see, and I'm not even, you can't even see the page. So.
Well, I'll take the next couple. I'll take the next two things because the first one's kind of a small one. Besides there being a 64-bit client, the downloader is now going to be using streaming technology similar to other Blizzard games. So when you're downloading the game, there's a progress bar for updates and such. If the bar is red, it means that core stuff's being downloaded, so you can't play the game. Once enough of it's been downloaded, it'll be yellow, which means you can play it, but the rest of the game content will be loaded in as you play it. And if it's green, you have everything in there. Very similar to what you find in World of Warcraft or other things. Streaming downloading content, it has kind of become a thing with a lot of current age games.
I kind of like that, actually. You can get in and play a game. I mean, yeah, because I'm not touching that one section. Why do I have to wait for that to download?
Right.
So.
And then the second thing that I'm going to touch really quick, and maybe Alec you can go in depth into the abilities of this guy, but I just wanted to say Chen Storm Stout is in the game this week. What surprises me...
Oh, no. You're done. We're going to bring him back for our Hero Spotlight.
Okay, so we're going to make Chen the Hero Spotlight then.
Yep.
Even though none of us have played him.
No, I don't think anyone has played him except for maybe the 20 people that are playing right now. We'll make Chen the Hero Spotlight, but I do want to say really briefly, I'm surprised that it's only Chen because, of course, as you know, we had these 3 new heroes previewed with Chen, Azmodan, and Anubarak. I was thinking we were going to see all 3 added in this build, and we are not. So what do you guys think about that?
I just think it's, they're working on them. I saw some really unique things coming out, so I think you're going to see more Fast and Furious patches at this point. I think they're getting closer to that polished game, especially you talked about the 64-bit client being released. To me, that's closer to that polished, finished game. BlizzCon. So I think that you're really seeing, and you'll see just a flurry of heroes coming out. I mean, I know I was also looking at the Heroes Wiki, and again, Heroes Wiki is not end-all be-all. I'm not saying that that's where they've got a pulse, but they've been pretty accurate so far. We've used them as a spotlight resource before, and they still have the Butcher, Cho'Gall, Jaina, Kel'Thuzad, Leoric, Mechatork, Rexar, Sylvanas, Thrall, Zalmaro, and Zul'jin as heroes that are still supposed to come out.
And apparently there was some mention on Twitter, I think from Bayflare, and in a couple other places, that there was mention about how if you look closely at the trailers for some of the previous heroes they've done for Hero Weeks on, you can actually see teasers or little Easter eggs of heroes that they're going to do in the future. And apparently in a couple of those trailers, there is... It's hard to make out, but you can kind of tell that Rexar and Jaina are put into a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
So they apparently have the models, at least for Rexar and Jaina, worked out. Whether or not they have all the abilities and stuff for them, how far they are in internal testing, who knows?
Yep.
That's one thing I don't understand. This is the alpha that they're releasing to us. What are they playing internally? What comes before alpha? Is there a pre-alpha?
Alpha.
Alpha? Okay. So they're in the alpha. We're just in the alpha.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess I'll take the next one, which is the user interface. And I'm not going to take all of this. mainly because there is so much in here. I'm going to ask Zod and Brian if you guys don't mind helping out. But some really big general stuff, and the first one that caught my eye was the reconnection screen. So now you actually have an indication on how close you are to rejoining that. So we know previously they've really worked on the concept of, you log out or something fails, you go back in and you rejoin the battle. Now you've got kind of a countdown timer for it. It also says date-based XP promotion testing is now complete. So this is the concept of, again, you can see this. I don't know with you guys when you play World of Warcraft. I used Titan panel type of idea, and it will show me, okay, if you continue to gain XP like you are, you're going to level your tune at this time. This is how long it's taking you to hit a level. This is what it sounds like they're really implementing here in your user interface.
No. This is they rolled out the idea of having dates where you get more XP, like an XP bonus weekend. That whole concept, which I think they're saying is they're not going to be doing bonus XP anymore during the alpha.
Not
I guess
on
they
the
tested
weekends.
that and happy with it.
They took out weekend bonus XP. But basically, they wanted to test the concept to see if the technical parts of bonus XP would work. And I think what they're going to do is at different points during testing, they'll say, okay, from this time to this time, XP is boosted up. So I think one thing they might do, if you think about it, during the weekends, there's going to be more people at home, more people available to play heroes. It would almost make sense to give bonus XP during the times when there's less traffic in the game to promote more people being on.
Okay.
That'd be interesting. Because at the same time, on the weekends, I've got plenty of time to play. I've got a lot of games to choose from, and maybe I want a little enticement to play heroes.
Yeah, that's true.
Be very interesting. So I'll jump in the next one because I know there's some parts of the UI. They're, again, part of the major overall UI changes. They've changed how the menu works while you're queuing for a game. Because the one thing I wanted to do, was to queue for a game. Like, okay, I've got 5 minutes to wait for my queue to hit. I want to go jump over and look at a character. Maybe I want to buy a character. Maybe I want to see a skin. I can't. I had to sit there and wait for the queue to kick off. But now they say you can actually be in the queue and still go roam around the interface and check out heroes and look at specialty builds, or maybe even look up some of the builds for the hero I'm about to play. So they built that into the system, and I really like that concept. I'm really glad they did that. And the other thing they did in the new menu is the gold that you've earned is now visible wherever you are in the little game client. Because another thing I've done is I've been moving around, and I think I was looking at one of the mounts I wanted to buy. I'm like, that's 5,000 gold. How much gold do I have? Oh, I don't know. Let me go 2 screens back and see how much gold I had. So the fact that the gold is now always visible is a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that change.
See, I really like the party panel. I think that's a cool new fix to the UI. So what they did there, the party panel is now displayed along the top edge of the screen and remains visible while navigating through most in-game menus. So if all 3 of us are in a party type of idea, we would be able to see that on the screen at all times. What's really nice is the current members are, the party members' current hero selections are also visible. So instead of us talking about what's going on and going, hey, which one are you choosing, having to be on vet, you can see actually right there immediately what we're selecting, what's going on, as well as you can, you can actually move your cursor over the hero and kind of get some information. Also, there's invite buttons at the portal, so you can a really quick invite into a party. So if we, say all of a sudden, Zod, you and I are playing after today, and Ro goes, you know what, they pushed back the World of Podcast meeting, I've got a moment to play, we could quick invite him versus having to go through multiple steps to get him into our invite party. And I really like that because this is a great game to play with friends, so they're making it easier to play with friends.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that they're working on quality of life enhancements. That tells me that they've really got the main engine done. They're happy with main engine. So.
Yep.
I might as well take the next one. So as far as the in-game user interface goes, as far as changes they're making while you're playing the game, They've added an in-game hero stats panel, which shows total health, mana, or whatever other resource you might be using, as well as what exactly your attack damage is, your ability power, movement speed, and much more. And that can actually be important to some people who, you know, are really into the numbers crunching and all of that. Like, say you take that one talent, marksmanship, where your attack power increases by 1 for every so many minions that you take out. You're going to be able to see that reflected in the hero stats panel while you're in the game. So you'll actually be able to see how much of an impact that's having on your power in game, and that's awesome. Also, the minimap icons have been updated with some new icons, including icons for specific objective points for battlegrounds, like merc camps, the cores, the towns, the watchtowers, and several hero abilities now have some special minimap indicators, including Tyranda's Sentinel, Sergeant Hammer's Blunt Force Gun, Murky's Egg, and Zagara's Nidus Worms. So
I hope it only shows your side. I hope it only shows, like, if you're playing Murky, Brian, I can see where you put your egg. I don't want to say. I hope it doesn't make it for the other player, because that would be a little easy.
Well, for the other players, I think it would only the other players would only see it if they had actual map vision for it. You know, just like anything else, I think.
Okay.
That would make sense.
And then the last thing, as far as the in-game UI goes, hero portraits on the in-game tab screen now display a skull icon when the associated hero is dead. Countdown timers are now displayed on the teammates' heroic ability icons in the show talents portion of the in-game tab screen whenever their heroic abilities are on cooldown, which is a neat little touch.
Yeah.
No, that's a holdover or a drag over from League of Legends, because in playing League of Legends, you could always see when your teammate heroic abilities, or whatever they were called in League, were on cooldown. So you'd always know, oh, so-and-so's got his ability up there for we can work out this combo. I don't understand the skull on the icon when the associated hero is dead, because I can look at the top of the screen and see who's dead, because they're in that little countdown timer.
Yeah, you see when they're going to respawn, right?
All right. I guess somebody had an extra minute, like, hey, I'll throw an X on there.
Well, I think it's nice to see that, because maybe you can start talking strategy real quick. Hey, I can look up and see Johnny Boy 217 is dead. He's going to be at the base, so if we push and somebody lanes on the other side, he's going to pop out and be able to handle some of that where I don't have to worry. I don't know. Maybe it's a quick look.
Maybe.
I'll take the. Oh, I was going to take daily quests and earning gold, because I think this is kind of unique.
I just want to make sure you and I did, because Ro's going to blow a gasket.
I'm already reading this, and I go.
So if you win one game is now win 3 games. So there is no more win 1 game, but they've changed the goal to match it. So instead of the daily quest of win 1 game and you earn 200 gold, if you win 3 games, you earn a 600 gold bounty on it. So it's still stacking the same. It's still stacking.
I blame Ro. Ro was the one who said he wanted more gold for doing daily quests. And they said, okay, here you go.
My problem that I have is, so play 2 games. Well, no, okay, it's play, so I'm not too worried about this. Never mind, I thought it was win. So play 2 games is now play 8 games, and the gold increased from 200 to 800. Play 2 games with any of the classes is now play 3 games with any of the classes on any mode, and that quest reward has been moved from 200 to 300 gold reward. Now, also, if you win in versus mode, you're now awarded 30 gold instead of the 40 that it was previously. Where if you lose in versus mode, you're now awarded 20 gold. This is up from 10 previously. I think this is good news for me.
Yes, you and I are going to get a lot more gold now. We're going to get double the gold out of our games.
Exactly.
Okay, now I don't know. What do you guys think?
Looking there.
I know Ro's about ready to explode. So before he gets there, I'm letting him build up a little bit. What do you guys think? This should still be called a daily quest. Play 8 games. Now I have to admit the games are quick. I don't think I've ever played a half-an-hour game, but 8 games is kind of a lot.
Even if you were talking about 20-minute games, which is on average about what I see when I play Heroes of the Storm, and would you agree with that, Zod?
Absolutely.
Ro, how about you? Would you agree a 20-minute game? You only get to say yes or no.
I'd say no.
Okay.
I'd say the average time is actually closer to 15.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm still taking 15 minutes. I'll take your low estimate at 15 minutes. That's 2 hours I'm sinking into Heroes to get that reward.
Not counting the queue time.
Right.
Right.
Where with my 20, you're looking at about 2 to 3 hours. To me, that's not a daily. That's not a daily here.
That's a couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay, Ro, I'm sure you have a lot to say on this topic, so go.
Okay. Dear Blizzard, thank you for giving us the opportunity to earn more gold per day. However, this is horrible. Just like Alec has said, playing 8 games is no light task. It's not a daily. I just don't... When I think of daily quests, I think of something that are going to take a relatively short amount of time. The only thing we really have to compare this to as far as Blizzard game philosophy goes with free-to-play games is Hearthstone. So I want to use Hearthstone discussion here for a little bit of an example. In Hearthstone, your quests have generally play 2 games, 3 games, or win. You have to win 2 games or win 5 games. And the win 5 games one, considering the matches take roughly 10 to 15 minutes, and you might lose some, winning 5 games could take about an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe less if you're good. This play 8 games one feels a little excessive. I feel that the play 2 games should have been made play 6 games, with the change being made to from 200 to, well, now see, I'm looking, okay, so it's play versus win. Okay, so yeah, the play 2 games I think should have been a play 6 games, changed from 200 to 600. I'm fine with the win 3 games one, and the reason why I'm okay with that is because, again, you can do this on co-op or versus, and really, if you want easy gold, it's very hard to lose in co-op. The computer AI just isn't quite there, so as long as you have 4 people with you who know how to play their hero, getting win 3 games basically means go play co-op 3 times and you're going to win.
Is this where I mentioned I'm probably 50-50 on my co-op games?
Ouch.
Wow.
But the one thing I think is missing here is a little more variety. I would like to see both sets of things be in the game. I would like there to be a win 1 game. I would like there to be a play 2 games, as well as the win 3 games and play 8 games. The way they do it in Hearthstone, they have one where you have a quest where you win 3 games with any class and get a reward, and they have one where they have win 7 games with any class and you get a much higher reward. I feel that there needs to be a bit more variety in the number of games you can play and the number of different number of quests available. But, of course, to go along with that, one thing Heroes needs to implement that Hearthstone already has is a way to switch out one of your daily quests. Like, say you get a play 8 games quest, and you look at that and you're like, I don't want to spend 2 hours today playing Heroes. You click the cancel button on that daily quest and let it re-roll a different daily quest. Heroes needs that system in their daily quests, I think, in order to kind of lower the punishment of RNG on getting a bad roll on a daily.
I know my idea would honestly be get rid of daily quests. Throw them out entirely. Instead, throw in achievements. Create a series of achievements like every other major game out there, like Portal, all these crazy, use your zombie circles on a certain character, and then boom, that's an achievement called something really funny. And just I love the concept of the WoW achievements. I love collecting those. I love the ingenuity of the achievements, the comedy they put into the titles of the achievements. I'd rather see achievements than daily quests. If daily quests are simply play a game, get more gold, well, just give me more gold for playing the game. Don't make it a quest. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I could see some merit in that, except then you have a limit on the number of achievements you can go for. And let's say you like playing one or two specific characters, but there's a whole bunch of achievements out there for other characters. You're going to feel like Blizzard is punishing you for not playing those other characters.
I can live with that. That's kind of the same way with WoW, all these achievements out there. Some of them, you really have got to grind for a long time or do something really difficult to get them. Like, forget the insane achievement. I'll never get the insane achievement. It's insane. But or at least, if not throwing out daily quests, add achievements, please. I do think that that's something that gamers such as myself love to collect. I want achievements. I want little badges I can show off. Hey, I got this really hard, amazing thing when I did this one skill shot and hit 3 people at once. I want those kind of achievements.
Yeah, and as far as I was just going to say really quick before you jump in now, the win and loss changes for the gold awards, I'm totally cool with.
Well, and I'm more in Zod's camp on this one. I think really stop giving me daily quests for this game and let me play is what I'm going to say. Because ultimately, here's where my mind goes. If you've got to incentivize me with daily quests, what is that telling me about your game? Your game should be awesome enough that I want to just play it.
I think it is, actually. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't care about daily quests. I'm going to play anyway. I probably will play 8 games. I will sit down and play 8 games because I like playing. The fact there's a quest for it is, who cares?
Well, and I mean, Zod, we differ a little bit. I'm a little bit more casual when it comes to this game than you are. So for me, 8 games is that 2-3 day stretch. I would much rather see it be, you know what, hey, I'm going to log in, Zod's on, I'm going to play 3 games, I get gold for playing those 3 games, and now I move on with my life. And if I don't come back to it, because what I find happening right now is I'm not playing for 4-day stretches, and I come back, all 3 of my daily quests are now filled in, and I'm not getting new ones. I'm not getting any different ones until I play for a while and clean out those, and it just seems like a chore for me. It doesn't reward me to play. It just makes it feel chore-ish.
It's kind of like I could see them going away and create 200 different wild, crazy achievements, and I'm going to work on some of them. But,
well, and I don't even think achievements should give me golds. I think achievements are just fun to go after.
Oh, no, I agree. No, I agree entirely. No need for gold. Just give me a badge, some cute little artsy thing. Have Samwise whip up a little badge. You can do that while he's going to the bathroom or something.
Tint. Okay, you've earned so many achievement points, you get a different tint.
There you
go. For me, give me more gold when I play a game. Give me more gold. Maybe there's an achievement system when I kill somebody. Hey, gold goes into a bank. Look at that. I walk out with so much gold at the end of the game. But then we're going to that League of Legends where people are going to try to steal some of the... So I think that they just need to go towards a flat gold and increase it across the board.
All right. So I think the horse is probably dead on this one. So let's move on to hotkeys. They've added hotkeys, the ability to set up talents. So when you hit a hotkey, you'll actually chain your talents. And I know there are definitely some classes I love playing where I intentionally, I'm going to do this move, I'm going to do that move because it's designed to be the next move. And I love the idea. And they also, I'm not sure if it's in this section of the notes, but they also let you queue up moves. So I can hit, okay, I'm going to hit this attack, and I'm going to hit my Q, then I'm going to hit my W, and the W will fire as soon as it's ready. It didn't wait for me to have to hit it on time. It just queues up. Same time, what if I hit Q twice and I didn't really want to do that move twice? Not so sure about that one. But anyways, I'm glad to have hotkeys. I have to admit, the one thing I really want is key mapping. As part of these changes, part of the part we covered, they moved the camera icon, the one that centers the camera on your character, from the C button to the L button. May not sound like a big deal, but I have one of those keyboards that's got the little gaming pad off to the left-hand side, so it's got its own duplicate keys, which I love. But the C button is perfect. I can click on the map, then tap my thumb on the C button and zip back. And now I've got to look down and try to find the L button and tap it to get my camera centered again. But anyway, so that's hotkeys. Probably not a whole lot to say about that. It's just something you kind of expect them to do.
And since I will take the next one, again, I will take the hot button topics here. Player leveling and rewards. So basically, level 8 and 10 no longer award a free-to-play hero rotation slot. Instead, now it grants 2,000 gold. So at 8 and 10, you are getting 2,000 gold. Player levels 12 and 15 no longer grant 2,000 gold. Instead, now each award a free-to-play hero rotation slot. So they just
basically
swapped it around.
They made those free-to-play hero additional slots farther down the leveling. Why do you think they did that?
I think they just want you to get more accustomed to a certain tune. Maybe they're pushing more for purchasing. Hey, purchase, we want you to purchase a tune type of idea and be good at it before we throw more at you so you're lost in who you're playing. Just a thought.
Ro, what do you think?
I actually don't have a lot to say about that. I pretty much agree with Al. Also, I just think by having the 2,000 gold rewards a little earlier on, that helps someone who is newer to the game get a little bit more of a head start on acquiring an extra hero or two.
Now, the one that I'm kind of miffed by here is the gold rewards for players at levels 20, 25, 30, and 35 have been removed.
Yep.
That's big. That's actually the if you look at the thread for the patch notes, that is the major topic people are screaming about. It's like, why did you pull the gold out?
I know why they did it.
Why?
Okay, so it has synergy with the daily quest thing. If they are upping the amount of games you're playing and they're upping the gold rewards, where previously you could only get, say, 200 gold a day, now you have the potential to get anywhere from as little as 300 gold to as much as 800 gold a day. So since you're going to be accumulating more gold per day in theory if you do daily quests, the gold rewards at 20, 25, 30, and 35 don't seem to be anywhere near as necessary a thing anymore, so they removed those. That said, my question is, if you remove those, what's the point of having a leveling system beyond level 15?
That's exactly what everybody's saying. I'm going to get to level 15, I'm going to stop. I'm going to worry about it anymore.
Right.
Some people are guessing that there are going to be different rewards coming in future patches. I don't know. There had to be a reason for it, and I can't think of one. I'm sure they saw something going on that they realized, we got to pull this gold out to those levels. But beats me what that ability was, what that would be. All right, the next topic I'll just throw out because I actually want to hear what you guys think about it more than just listen to one of you read it. Upon logging into the Heroes of the Storm for the first time, players will now be asked to estimate their experience level with games like Heroes of the Storm. Why do you think they're doing that?
I think they're trying to create their niche. I think they've heard us or they've heard a lot of people talking, comparing it to other games, and I think Blizzard's really looking for that niche. They're looking for that ability where they can now say, no, come to Heroes because we do this. We are known for this. It's no longer the concept of, Heroes of the Storm, it's Blizzard's League of Legends, or it's Blizzard's this, or it's Blizzard's that. No, Heroes of the Storm is Heroes of the Storm, League of Legends is League of Legends, those type of ideas. So I think they're really trying to search for that niche market or that niche thing that they're doing well.
I actually have kind of a different perspective on that.
Okay.
And,
what do you think?
I mean, I understand where Al is coming from, and I appreciate that. And I do think that that's Blizzard's mission, is to make Heroes of the Storm a unique experience. But I think the purpose of this questionnaire almost serves as like checks and balances against that. Because as much as you may be striving to develop this game that is unique from other games like League of Legends or other MOBAs, they want to find out what kind of audience are they pulling in. Are they actually pulling in players who are new to this type of style of game, like pretty much I was? Or is the great majority of their players that they are bringing into Heroes of the Storm just people who have played Dota and League of Legends in the past? And that can have an impact and effect on how they develop the game in the future.
And I agree to a point with that, Ro. And I think we're speaking the same language, just taking it from a different side. I also think now I might be speaking, so I'm going to be very upfront. Zod, you love this game. You're playing it all the time.
I do.
Okay. Ro, realistically, how often are you playing Heroes of the Storm?
An hour a day.
An hour a day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No more than an hour a day.
Okay, and that's every day, guaranteed.
Like 80% of the time. Like okay. I may miss a day or two out of the week, but I would say at least 5 days of the week I play an hour a day.
I think that they're seeing also with this going into beta and so many people having it, people like myself, where I'm not necessarily, I'll log in if I've got friends, but if I don't know that there's friends on, guess what? I'm not in. Yeah. To me, this is a friends-only game.
I've definitely logged in, said, no, there's none of my friends are on. I'll check back later.
And I think that's also what this is for, is they're trying to see, hey, do we have some people that have fallen off the map? How do we get them back? Where are we going wrong where these people have fallen off? And I think that's also what this is here for.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the infrastructure. We actually have we haven't even touched a third of the notes yet. So we're going to have to, I just looked at the time like, oh, wow, look at the time. So infrastructure, holding down a hotkey for heroic ability, for a hero ability with an instant cast time will now automatically recast that ability once its cooldown expires. I don't know who that's going to help because most of our hero abilities have, minute and a half cooldowns. I'm going to be too busy to hold that key down for a minute and a half. But maybe it's certain heroes have a faster. Maybe there's one or two I'm not thinking of that have a real quick turnaround.
Zagara can put down creep tumors pretty quickly. That's one example.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. That would make sense. I guess there's probably just a couple heroes specifically they needed. All right, so Ro, you want to jump into the new stuff in the shop?
Yeah, and I'll try to make this very brief. Simply, as we stated earlier, Chen Stormstout's in the game, so he's available on the shop. He does have a skin with him called War Master Chen, and I saw a picture of that. Looks pretty neat. There is, of course, a bundle where you can get Chen and War Master Chen together for a limited time. They have removed the Big Top Gazlo and Frostworm Arthas bundles. And they've also added master skins for Brightwing, Nova, Raynor, Tychus, Tyrael, and Zeratul.
And those are the ones you get when you reach a max level with those character traits.
Right, when you hit level 10 on that character, on that hero. And Zagara was lowered, I think she was lowered to 7,000 gold. I'm pretty sure she cost 10,000 gold before. And Candy King Muradin's skin is now $9.99. I don't know what it was before.
Don't know. That would be one I'd be interested in buying, but still just a little too much, Blizzard. A little too high, price-wise.
Artwork. It's new. No.
Right? Well, I mean, seriously, is there anything super substantial we need to talk about as far as the artwork goes?
So the in-game death scenes are kind of reworked. That was kind of cool to see. There's been more physical-based terrain stuff, so you're seeing more when you do stuff. It's affecting the terrain around you. Just really getting it up. The animations are a little bit better. This is an interesting one. Facial animations have been added to the following heroes: Nova and Chen. So you're going to see their faces change depending on what they're doing. So
Chen has a big face. Nova?
Yeah, I know.
So much.
I like that they've added dance, victory, and taunt animations.
Yep.
I didn't remember seeing any of them dance before. I have to look for that.
And also they've really, and I've said this before, Horse, Rainbow Unicorn, and Warhorse, they were all pretty much the same thing. They've done some tweaking there to make them look different. So they're not as, oh my gosh, I got a Rainbow Unicorn Warhorse. So I think that.
They've added voiceover processing to a number of the hero skins. I'm guessing that means those skins will have different voices or different phrases or sound effects to them.
Yeah.
I would imagine they're going to be a little bit different. It'll be interesting to see because Demonic Tyrael is one that I almost always play with, so it'll be interesting to see how his voice changes.
Me too. That's one of my favorite characters, actually. The improvement's been made to the hero hitboxes to be easier to left or right click a hero. All right, that's kind of helpful. Great when they're stuck in a bunch of minions. There it is. A successive ability cast will now queue automatically rather than overwriting prior button presses. That's the part I'm not so sure I'm going to like, because I'm the kind of person who just hammers on a button until I see it go off. So I'm probably going to be queuing up a lot of my abilities for a while until I get used to it.
So Battlegrounds, couple big things I'm going to take right off the bat. Core and Siege Giants, health regeneration, guess what? Gone!
That's huge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To me, that just is saying we want these games to go quicker. We want these games to move at a quicker pace. You know, because previously, hey, I'm low on health, I'm going back to the core, I'm going to get my health, and I'm back and I'm going back out there. Now I've got to play a little bit more cautious, or I'm going to die, and I'm probably going to die a lot more. Big changes to Garden of Terror. Anything that you guys saw in there that was super, super, super huge?
Well, it looked to me like I've only actually, in all the times I've played, I've only gotten Garden of Terror, I think, twice. And both times when we collected 100 seeds, nobody went back to turn into the giant terror flower thing.
Yeah.
And so they've added this ability now where if nobody goes back, or after you collect 100 seeds, it waits 15 seconds, and then it spawns on its own and starts working its way up the path, and a player can run up and click on it to take over and become the terror plant garden of heck.
Otherwise,
it's not that it spawns and go on its own. The garden terror will appear, but it will appear where the fertile soil is, and then a player has a minute to go up to that spot and take control.
So at a minute, basically, he despawns if no player clicks on him,
and you lose the seeds.
And you're now back into normal mode.
Oh, see, I thought it was like just a mercenary that would just push itself.
That's
so basically, it's
really going to affect strategy in Garden of Terror because there are some people who would wait for the right moment to to spawn a Garden Terror and make the push at the right time. You want to time it like before when I played Garden of Terror. You would time it up so that you'd wait till you got your merc camps acquired, and as soon as the merc camps were acquired, okay, then send in the Garden Terror. Now,
push.
Yeah.
Now it's use it or lose it.
A lot more strategy, yeah.
I do like the new ability of Sprint that the Garden Terror has. So that increases Garden Terror's movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds.
Oh, that's good.
Because that thing is a slow-moving Hulk.
It is.
And especially, if you've pushed and you are up towards the end, it's very easy. I've done it in a couple Garden Terror games where they're able to kind of sidestep, come through the sides, and take out your Garden of Terror before it even really gets into play at where you're pushing. So I think that that's a big deal to get that sprint in there.
And they've also increased the experience you get for killing Garden Terrors. It's the neutral Garden Terrors. Those are the mercs, the mobs or monsters, or whatever you call them, that you have to kill during night mode. So I think they're really trying to get people more into the play of the game itself and not just simply going out and killing each other.
Right.
Very nice. So there's major talent changes. The Cleanse, Healing Ward, Promote, Season Marksman, and Storm Shield all had updates to them. Not going to jump into all of them just because there are so many. And there are many changes to individual heroes. Again, way too many to get into. The only one I wanted to point out specifically was Murky. Murky's had almost, I think, a complete overhaul.
Look at Sergeant Hammer. That would be the other one that I'd say had a complete
Sergeant Hammer? So Murky's basic ability, his slime went from being a low damage over time to being an one-time instant cast damage, and whoever gets slime on them will then take 250% more damage for 8 seconds, and you can cast slime every 4 seconds, every 3 seconds with the talent. And so that means if you can just keep hitting people slime over and over, you're going to do massive damage with them. The pufferfish that you throw out to blow up towers now do more damage, and they explode faster. So it's harder to kill them before they take out a tower, and they're going to do more damage to a tower. So I think Murky got kind of a nice upgrade.
I would say the most notable, if I were to pick one hero from these changes and what's the most notable to me, Brightwing, in my opinion, got some serious adjustments. Some would arguably say nerfs. Basically, cooldown increases, can heal more, but it takes longer to... Brightwing can heal for more, but it takes longer to use that. And the Regenerative Rains talent, the healing amount was reduced from 100% to 50% of that offered by Soothing Mist, and the cooldown on Blink Heal was increased as well. So I think overall they made some nerfs on Brightwing that are pretty noticeable, and I saw a few people on Twitter talk about those nerfs as well.
You know who's not on here? Lily. I just was noticing. Lily is not on.
Lily is balanced. Lily is perfect.
Leave my Lily alone.
Leave Lily alone, yes.
Well, and I mean, I've heard you guys talk and argue that she's one of the better healers, so I was really interested to see where they haven't touched her or nerfed her, because I really didn't think Brightwing was a huge healer. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I don't play healers. I mean, my healer that I play is Rhaegar. So
Lily is an easy mode healer. Very, very, very easy to do really good heals. Brightwing took some skill, and I think Brightwing can out-heal Lily for a good player if you've got the skill, if you're good at making those skill shots, because you actually have to cast certain areas and make sure you get people.
Okay. No, I just was surprised to see Brightwing on there and no Lily.
Yeah. And then, I mean, just glancing at the notes, there's a whole bunch of little itty-bitty changes here and there. Nothing to really go too in-depth on. But it mostly bug fixes beyond that.
Well, and I mean, you look at their new... You can even look. So we talked earlier about the new bundles, and I did take a look at the new bundles, and it kind of goes... And just to give you a little bit more on what is going on. So the new bundles, there's the Assassin Bundle, Support Bundle, Warrior Bundle, but then there's the Beatdown Bundle, the Heavy Hitter Bundle, and the Heroes of Light Bundle. So the Beatdown and the Heavy Hitters Bundle, you actually look at the characters inside those bundles and look what they did with the actual changing of them, and you can look that they're changing how they're interacting. So to give you a prime example, like Kerrigan is part of the Beatdown Bundle. So Blade Torrent radius increase has been reduced from 50 to 30%, and Arc has been decreased on Primal Grasp from 70 to 35. Well, that's because she needs to be in close to beat you down. So, I mean, it's just going along with what they're doing. That's all I'm seeing here.
All right, so I think that's a pretty good covering of the patch notes. Again, if you haven't read them yet, you're going to want to go read them. There are a lot of details that we skipped just to cover the highlights. So with that, let's move over to the Resource Spotlight, which will be for Ro.
Speak, minion.
Yeah, and for the Resource Spotlight, we're actually going to direct you to a page on the Heroes of the Storm site, which we'll include a link for in the show notes, and that is the Battleground Pages. And the Battleground Pages are basically specific pages that give details about what Blackheart's Bay is like, Dragonshire, Haunted Mines, Garden Terror, and Cursed Hollow. You can go to the Battleground page, click on whichever battleground you want more info on, and it gives you basically some more information on what the objectives are and shows you I'm looking at right now, it gives you an overhead view of what the map looks like. You can zoom in and zoom out on it. It's a pretty neat feature.
Kind of like also, Google Earth. Earth for the levels. So.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I love the idea because, I mean, usually when you first start playing, you've got to learn a map by literally running out there, learning the map during a game. Now, like Gardens of Terror, the one I'm not very familiar with, I can now go to the map and look it up and zoom in and figure out where things are, and love the idea they did this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely check that out. That can be found on the official Heroes of the Storm site. And it's one of their most recent articles as well. So even if you don't catch our link in the show notes, if you're like listening to this on the download, just check out the site. You'll probably be in one of their most recent posts.
All right. So with that, let's go over to this week's Hero Spotlight. Take it away, Al.
Well, and this week we're going to really look at Chen Stormstout. We're not going to go in depth like we normally do with the Hero Spotlight, mainly because nobody's played him except for the 20 people that left our podcast to go play once we told them Heroes of the Storm was up.
Yeah. Thanks, Al.
Yeah. So really, where does Chen fit into this model? Well, Chen is a warrior. Sorry, I had to go there. He's a very interesting warrior, and you made an interesting comment earlier when we were talking about them, Zod, where he looks like he's going to play like a monk, and that's really what I'm seeing. So his abilities are Flying Kick, Keg Smash, and Breath of Fire. His heroic trait is Fortified Brew, and he has two different heroics that you can go into. And I want to talk a little bit about his abilities and what we're seeing here. Just quick hit, see what's going on, and then once we play him, we can revisit him again. So he does have Wandering Keg and Storm, Earth, and Fire. Wow, that sounds like a band I listened to a while ago. So, I mean, I'm going to start. Ro, what are you thinking? Looking at some of these abilities, hearing some of these abilities, where are you going with this? What do you think, Chen?
As far as like what heroic ability is more interesting to me?
I just want. How are you planning to play Chen? Listening to some of those abilities, possibly looking. So flying kick. It's just like a monk flying kick. Guess what? You fly through the air and you kick somebody. Keg smash. You smash a keg and drench everybody in brew, slowing them down. Where breath of fire, you actually breathe in a arc to a degree in front of you, burning people. Keg smash.
Right. If they've been smashed by keg smash and covered in alcohol, you could then breathe fire and light them on fire.
Yeah, it's a very kind of combo-oriented thing, which kind of fits the whole kit of monks. You know, monks kind of have this kind of combo mechanic to them, you know, where you do one thing and you follow it up with another ability right away. I find that pretty interesting. The fortifying brew trait seems a little differently. I think that's really what's going to kind of set Chen apart from how the other warriors play. And instead of your mana, you power your abilities by drinking brew, and you gain a shield while drinking. I'd have to play that to see exactly how it works, but it feels like it's going to be very different from how you standardly do things.
So, I mean, do you see this more as a jungle-style character, or do you see this as a upfront fighting type of character, or where are you?
I think he's going to be in the action against other players quite a bit, especially as far as like the heroic abilities go. Wandering Keg, you know, where it's saying you jump in the barrel and knock enemies around, dealing damage. I can see that totally causing havoc in team fights.
Okay, all right, Zod, I want to take that question over to you and really say, what are you seeing with Chen here?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he is a warrior, relatively a tank in the WoW parlance. They mark him as being extremely survivable. That's his strongest trait. To me, he seems like he'd be a great fighter. I want to be a windwalker with him. The ability to light people on fire, throw alcohol on them and light them on fire seems rather awesome. And his other heroic ability, Storm, Earth, and Fire, where he splits into 3 parts, and the 3 parts and jump out and attack, that just seems like it'd be a great DPS thing. I'm surprised that he is what I classify as a tank. Maybe I'm off on that one.
But see, that's where I see Storm, Earth, and Fire as a great jungling trait. I can go to a mercenary camp, split myself into 3, and now I'm taking out that merc camp by myself. I don't need a DPS, somebody else coming in helping me. So I think that's... I'm interested to see how he plays, because I think that you're either going to go the fighter route, where I agree with you. Wandering Keg is where you're going to go down that fighter route, or you're going to go jungling route with Storm, Earth, Fire. So I don't... Go ahead.
I know on the last show, Ro really kind of threw me for a loop when he jungles on a character that I never would have thought to have jungled on, and it made me start thinking, well, wait a minute, what other ways can we use heroes in ways that they weren't maybe designed for originally? So, yeah, I could definitely see him jungling.
Yeah, and on cooperative, I could definitely see that too. One of the things that's interesting about these heroes is that, I mean, quite honestly, when you're playing co-op, when you're playing against the computer AI, you have a lot of flexibility for how you want to play your characters. So if you're not going to be playing against other player opponents, you get to have a little more fun. You can try builds that aren't necessarily what people would consider optimal, but they can still be effective against the computer AI, and it can still be an enjoyable experience. That said, I think we're going to find that more often than not, when you're playing against, other live people on the other team, there are going to be certain talents you're definitely going to want to choose over others.
Oh, yeah. Now, the last thing I will mention on Chen before we move past, he is coming out with a skin involved on him. So he does come in what I would call his Warcraft, back from the Warcraft 3 days, what he looked like inside that. So it's the traditional, almost like a gi with a wandering staff with the teapot and the brew on it, and then he's got the keg under the arm. But there's also War Master. Where it kind of combines the idea of the Shadow Pan from World of Warcraft. He's rocking almost like a codgel, walking around. His brew's he's a little bit more glowy. There's flames on him. Really looks like he's got some armor on him. So kind of a unique look to the War Master.
Yeah, I like his breastplate. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the funny thing about the War Master skin is, so with these other skins, they're supposed to be like alternate reality versions of these heroes, and they describe War Master Chen as the War Masters serve as the unbreakable front line of Lei Shen's Grand Army. Once the Caldori are broken before him, the Well of Eternity will belong to the Thunder King forever. So they're basically implying that the War Master Chen version of Lei Shen is an ally of the Thunder King that is part of the battle against the Night Elves at the Well of Eternity, which is a real interesting twist.
Nice.
Yeah. I just like that his armor looks like a Voltron cat.
Which lion is he?
Yeah, he's the
green
silver,
lion.
The green lion.
The green lion or the black lion?
Okay,
I mean, those are the two.
I'm going to go black lion because I never liked pitch. So,
Okay, so I guess with that, we've more than covered this week's show. I know we're actually a little bit over our time by about half an hour. So we're going to go ahead and close
up for lost weeks.
We are definitely, we'll probably do hour-long shows every 2 weeks instead of half-hour shows every week. For those of you who want to stick around on the video stream or are watching this afterwards on the video stream, I believe Al and I are actually going to try to get in-game and play a game and record it over the video stream. We'll see how well that works after this. But for otherwise, I'm going to call that our show for this week, which means I get to play this drop.
Why do you itch, Butt? I will scratch you into submission! Victory for Brightwing!
That's our official end of a closed show theme. So, all right. So if you'd like to follow the show, you can follow us on Twitter. We are at Prepare4Combat with the number 4. Our email is at podcast@prepareforcombat.net. Website is prepareforcombat.net, and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes and Stitcher. Ro, where can people find you on the web?
On Twitter, you can find me at Rowow, spelled RHOWOW. You can also find me on my other podcast I do called Realm Maintenance, which is found at realm-maintenance.com. It's a podcast that'll help connect you to a whole bunch of other podcasts for all of the great Blizzard games out there.
All right. Alakaz, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Alakaz. That's ALACHAAS. I always have to say that because I spell it weird. And they can also listen to me every fortnight. Hey, bringing the word back. On Geektopia. And if you wanted to check us out, you can go to our website, which is geektopiashow.com. I know our last episode, if you've not watched it, I will warn you, we did a rift track of Star Wars Episode 1. So that would mean you'd have to watch Episode 1 again.
Oh, man.
But
all right.
you get to listen to Alanya, Lita, and myself make fun of it.
Okay. Well, that would be cool. That would be worth it right there. All right, as for myself, I am at Accuzod, ACUZOD. Go to my website, accuzod.com, where you will now find the beginning or relaunching of my podcast I called Zodcast. Which Alakaz was on. Ro, I don't think you were on the first 2 Zodcasts, but we need to get you on them. They're short, they're funny. Please check them out. There'll be more coming up very soon. So with that, let us, I forgot to say, and with that, you are now prepared for combat. Woohoo! All right.
Yay!
It's a show!
So I don't think tonight, Zod, I'll be able to do it. Next time we record, I can plan dinner better and be able to do that.
You want to go eat? Silly person.
Well, I have to make dinner for everybody.
I'm 2 hours ahead of you, and I haven't had dinner yet either. So if you're not going to do it, well, then I'm not going to do it either. So we will do it next week if we can. We can all schedule time, and maybe hopefully Ro won't have a World of Podcast meeting to go to.
Next week I should be available.
All right. Yeah. So next week I'll promote it everywhere.
Yeah, if it wasn't buffalo mac and cheese tonight, it was something simple I was making.
What time should I be there?
About an hour. About an hour from now.
I'm probably about a 12-hour drive away. So can you keep it heated up in the oven or something?
I can
keep it in the crock pot.
I will say, crock pot. When you decide to come out here to Phoenix Comic-Con, I will make
next year I'm coming. I was so close to going this year.
Well, you let us know because we will keep you out of the hotel rooms. We'll let you stay. Whether it's Heather and
you're gonna have a screaming baby next year. I'm not staying there.
Yes, but we do also have a camper that's outside.
Oh, there
of
we
the
go. Okay.
So,
all right. So with that, for those of you who stuck around for the after show banter, apologize. We're not going to go to play the LUT game. Alicaz and I are going to go eat, and Rose actually going to go do something productive. But we will be playing the game live after the show. Well, no, not next week. We're doing it every 2 weeks now, so it'll be the week after next week.
2 weeks.
Unless we want to get together every other week and just play the game with no show. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
That's something we can definitely talk about.
We will figure that out. So we will see you next week or the week after. Thank you for watching.
See ya.
See ya.